How's it going, everybody? GodBaer here. Once again, thank you for clicking into one of my videos. We are back on NCAA Football 25 and our Washington State Cougars Dynasty, ranked 12th at the moment, going up against what I consider our rivals, our home team, Washington Huskies, the other home team that is. And this little statistic of 111 previous meetings where they have won twice the amount of games that we have against them is not what I like to see. So we're going to treat this as a rivalry game. Again, it's more so Spokane being us versus Seattle being the Huskies. For those of you that are unaware with these two teams, I live in between both of them. Spokane is about 2 hours from me being the Cougars, and then Seattle being the Huskies is about 4 hours away from where I obviously currently reside. But that is besides the point. I just wanted to share my geographical positioning in terms of these two teams and why I'm such a big advocate of home teams, because I always feel like you should support those around you type of thing. And obviously Huskies have had a lot of success with Michael Penix Jr. and obviously him being gone, their overall is taking a little bit of a dip. But the Cougars and the Huskies have a little bit of like back and forth in terms of who's actually good in terms of like collegiate timing. They have had high moments, they've had low moments. Cougars obviously with the more recent lows, which is why we took them over, and they're typically closer to my real location, so it made more sense. And I'm more of a fan of red than I am of purple, so there's a couple things that come into play in terms of why we chose them. But the main aspect is the fact that they had one double-digit win season out of the last 20 years. So of course we're taking over, hoping to change that all around, and we need to fight into this large deficit of that 78-33 record or whatever it was that the Huskies have over the Cougars. That was just incredible. Like, that hurt to see, like that many more wins. I didn't like it. It's going to take us forever to actually eat into that to make it 78-78. That's going to be more seasons than that this dynasty is unfortunately going to allow us to go into. That's only 30 possible wins, technically 28, because we simulated the first two seasons in which the Huskies won both those two simulated games. And again, it hurts us at this point, but right now we do have a one possession lead, 14-7. The Huskies are out here on offense, and we want to stop them, get a more comfortable lead, and run away with this ball game anytime. And again, we're considering this a rival game. NCAA football itself does not consider it a rival game. It's just a home team Apple Cup matchup, and of course, like I mentioned, we're expecting and hoping to come out here victorious. Number 46, I will tell you guys, is very, very obnoxious. The Heisman difficulty tends to find one player and just have them go absolutely berserk, and that will be number 46 in this game. It's terrible pursuit angle by number 37, so the quarterback does pick up that first down. Rainy game just to make this more ugly than it is, and there goes number 46 getting into the end zone to tie this ball game up. We got 2 minutes left in this first half. The plans for this drive is obviously to eat up all 2 minutes, score a touchdown, and then come out on the second half and continue to do our thing. Richard is going to be the more focal or focused running back in this game. As stated in a previous episode, at this point I was still figuring out the whole wear and tear system, so Mr. Julius Suggs is a little beat up from continuous 3-yard runs. He's had a little bit of a lackluster performance ever since week 1 and 2, where he was nice and healthy at that point. Now he's again a little sore. He needs to recover, and we do hope that he does make a return. He's not hurt per se in terms of injuries. He's just, like I said, that wear and tear and his stamina are just affected by a good margin, as I thought I was in position for that interception. But number 46 cuts us off, gets another catch, and these Huskies are just sticking right with us, play for play, drive for drive. And I'm not liking this at all. I want to get a 2-possession lead to feel good about this game, but it's going to be 21-21 at this point. Backhander and offense. Again, Mr. Richard out here as our priority back, who is very similar to Julius Suggs, so it's not like it's a tremendous hit in terms of our overall capabilities. It's a 1-pound difference. Julius Suggs being 230, Richard being 229. Suggs with 93 speed, Richard with 91 speed, so very, very similar backs. I will say Richard is more of our receiving back. Again, a lot of our plays are with a 2-back set when a receiver is a running back type of thing, and it tends to be a swing route with a running back, and at that point it's always the secondary running back being Mr. Richard, while Suggs is, like, the RPO fake, and then Richard gets the ball. But right now, Thompson, the strong safety, running all the way over there, getting the interception, giving us an opportunity to finally go up 2 scores, but going back 8 yards with a sack to start a drive is not a good point. And Cordero is apparently on something as well, breaking 1 to arguably 2 tackles right there, picking up the first down. Much needed there, even though we're literally just going to get sacked a couple plays later by running into them. And then insult to injury, we will miss the field goal by a good margin there, giving the Huskies another opportunity, and number 46 a chance to catch more passes out of anybody else. Phenomenal pancake blocks. The running back just, again, subtle maneuvers from this Heisman difficulty, just squeezing through. And thank God that was overthrown. 55, our defensive end, Mr. Rice, for some reason out there on man coverage or whenever that blown coverage was. They get the ball right back with roughing the kicker. Worst thing that could have happened for us up until the quarterback throws directly at us. Mariani, the very next play after that penalty, told the team, it's all right, guys. I'll put you on my back. We're going to get this victory. Let me take this ball, put our offense back out there, even though I tried to do the same thing and tell the Huskies, you know what? It's all right. You can have the ball back. It was more so I don't know what was going on with my mind. I wanted to throw the circle on the swing route with our slot receiver, but I hit triangle instead into double coverage. But doesn't matter. We're moving on. We need to stop this team in the Washington Huskies because we do not want to lose another game for the rest of the dynasty. Like I mentioned earlier, they have 2 wins through our simulated seasons. That's all we're going to give them. We do not want to give them any other rarities, we'll call it, as it is a 28-28 ball game. 4th quarter, where our team likes to shine. Number 4, Lawrence tells number 40 to sit down. You too little to tackle me. Lawrence being 6'4", not terribly big. I think he's barely over 200 pounds, but tall frame, which is how we like it. And we're throwing another interception, which is just not what we want to be doing. Our offense and defense are very conservative in a way, as it's smart, high percentage passes, high percentage reads, and this game is not really showcasing that abilities from our squad. But number 24 busting off a good run. This one being rainy, there's a fair share of things we just can't really do. This NCAA 25 game does do a good job about affecting certain areas. Obviously, run, having the ball be a little bit more hard to grip in terms of passes, which actually truly does affect you in this game, which is nice to see. The subtle development things that they've done is nice to see. But again, that's besides the point. Mr. Suggs out here busting off a good run. You see he's got his 4 of his green bars out of the total 5. So he's recouping a little bit in between plays. He's going to do well for us, continuously get some first downs where we need them. 2nd inches, converting, killing this clock, where we will kick the game-winning field goal. And thank God we take this Apple Cup 31-28. Much too close for my liking, but a win is a win. This is our closest matchup we've had in the season and the dynasty in general. Obviously, this being our first season of actually playing games. Cordero, 330 yards, 80% completions, and 3 total touchdowns. Matt is doing phenomenal for us. You see all of his development traits on the right side, which is why we are playing him. Obviously, we don't really have a whole lot of QB options at this point in time. But, as we go through the recruitment process through more and more seasons, we will add more and more possibilities through all positions. Speaking of which, Frederick Rasmussen is going to be added to the squad. We'll see how he looks later on in the season, literally the end of the season. But we move up to rank 9, top 10 in all of collegiate football. Time to go up against these SMU Horsies. And Mr. Suggs being back out here. You see his very first play. He's got 3 yellow bars out of his total 5 or 6. And he's still a little worn out. He didn't play a whole lot last week against Washington, but it takes a while for them to recover. And at this point of me figuring the whole wear and tear system out, I was never really giving them a break. But season 2, that will be a different situation entirely. I shared it in a previous episode. We divvy out the responsibilities or the workload between Richard and Suggs. Only 2 games in on season 2, trying to hold off because once again, we're going to have a decision that I'm going to hope that you guys can make for me for who's going to be starting a particular position. Not going to spoil anything more than that, but Suggs, great block to catapult Freeman for an extra 15 to 20 yards. Took a little bit of a shot from number 13, but that's besides the point. Starting to implement, again, a couple more offensive plays, just so we're not so one-dimensional with these wide receiver sweeps here. As Hernandez gets tracked down, we kick a field goal. It goes in to go up 3-0. Lead is a lead. I'm happy with it. And Haynes out here. QB gets hit, bad ball, Haynes in the right position at the right time. We score a touchdown, the very first play of these SMU Horsies starting drive. So it was a nice 2-play combo for us. Offense gets it done in terms of at least getting some sort of points on the field. Touchdowns are obviously the game plan overall, but if we can get them defensively, that is plenty sufficient as well. Even though SMU is going to score relatively quickly themselves with number 10. And I don't know how to cover. We do play a fair share of zone. Our overalls are not that high, so when we do play man coverage, we tend to get torched, especially with crossing routes. The computers tend to do a lot of comeback routes, out routes, and things like that. And again, we don't have the man coverage to stick with those at the time being. But Hernandez, unlike last time where he lost 3 or 4 yards, bust up a 50-yard run. Lawrence trying to push himself into the end zone, fumbles the ball. Luckily, number 58 there picks it up, and then Suggs will capitalize on it and get him to the outside and into the end zone. Hit us with a little bit of a dance. Up by 2 possessions again, 17-7. SMU plays a lot like us, to be honest. They do a lot of turbo tempo as Lewis here. I don't know where number 16 was running, but Lewis knew where the ball was going. 16 wasn't quite sure what he should be doing, but it's going to be an illegal man downfield, so we decline it and keep this ball inside the red zone already. Again, trying to give Lawrence, that big body, an opportunity to get himself into the end zone, especially this close to said red zone. Group with a touchdown here. He's an elite development trait. Trying to get him the ball more and more frequently is, I don't know how I dropped this one, Mariani. I know his attributes in terms of catching aren't the best, but was right there for it. And number 10 getting his second touchdown of the day. 37 got absolutely annihilated on the press there. And that's one of the reasons why we don't play man very often. They got burned, and they score a very, very quick touchdown. Once again, only back up by 10. We would prefer 2 full touchdown possessions, not a touchdown and a field goal with our 10-point lead here. Lawrence, again, is going to have a heavy load this game. He is another one of our star development traits, doing what we can to get him some experience and overall progressed in his freshman redshirted season. It's all of our main players' freshman redshirt seasons because we redshirted everybody. and hoping everybody does well. Obviously, nobody wants to lose. Nobody wants to do poorly. So that doesn't need to be said here. But number 10, the focus of their offense is, once again, Mariani getting his hands on the ball, just barely on that one, but still right there to make a play. Unfortunately, it does not pan out. And 18, I don't know why Al Ukda is doing out there so far on the sidelines, but he was in position for it. Doesn't capitalize. SMU gets down, kicks a field goal right before the first half. It is 31-17, 35. Doing a fairly good job up until he fumbles the ball. Haynes out here having a phenomenal episode. I was going to say game, but it's kind of an episode entirely. Last game he did pretty well, and on this one he's got an interception and a fumble recovery, which went for a touchdown. Doing very, very well. Number 16 out here trying to make up for his mistake, and 35 once again. A subtle little agile running back out here. Not a big fan of him as he continuously tries to pick up a first down, but Mr. Al Ukda says, not this time. You're tired of your crap. Give our offense the ball so we can kind of run away with this one and solidify the victory more so than what it already is. Cordero showing off that he is or has a decent amount of speed. Not a whole lot, low 80s in terms of attributes, but he's going to get the job done, picking up another first down with them wheels. Lawrence out here picking up those inches, but taking a big hit to do so, and continuously getting the ball on this first drive. He is going to have a lot of touches as Mr. Group getting into the end zone once again. Man is quite the threat. Not a big tight end. I believe he's only 6'2", but he's got like 84 speed. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he progresses. Obviously, I'm looking forward to how everybody progresses, but there are particular positions or players that I know have good development traits, like Mr. Group with the elite. So I'm hoping that they become, as we reach our junior and senior years, one of our 90 overalls or higher, of course. That would be great. And ultimately get into our draft classes that we plan to do with Madden NFL 25. But we'll see if they declare for the NFL draft one overall he really gets to in that junior/senior year. Hopefully everybody plays for their senior year because, again, I want to chase school, if not collegiate records. But we are up by 21 points right now. 3 total touchdown possessions. Little speed option, pitching it out to Richard. He does a great job about picking up the first down and a little bit more. Again, Lawrence out here breaking tackles. 14 is too little to get big old 6'4" body down to the ground. And Group scoring a touchdown in the exact same play as he did last drive. And this one is getting a little out of hand. 52-24, fourth quarter. Again, where our team thrives in terms of putting up the most points, so we can see if we can continue that trend as Doss gets the interception and the touchdown. So already 2 touchdowns in this fourth quarter. Getting a little sad for this SMU team as they were at one point close to making this one a ball game, but that is no longer the case. 59-24. Shouldn't have pressed, but that was a little like stack offense, and the 2 DBs kind of rubbed off each other, so less of a press thing and more just of their offensive formation that bugged out the DBs on our side. But it's okay. At this point, they can get a touchdown. We have such a good lead. It does not matter at this point. Lawrence continuously getting the ball, doing a good job about avoiding contact up until number 54 does drag him down. Richard getting a first down. We do have chew clock on at this point just to get out of the game. People are starting to get a little exhausted with how often our offense is on the field. Suggs will get another touchdown on the day, and that will be the ball game. 66-31 at the end, and we remain undefeated, top 10 in the collegiate rankings. Very, very happy with how the team is performing. 282, 91.4 completion, and 4 touchdowns by Cordero. Man has been phenomenal, beyond what I expected from him. Julius Suggs, nearly 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, so better than what he has done recently. Lawrence with 100 yards on 9 touches. But that is going to come to an end on our video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. Let me know what you thought down in the comment section. And until next time, everybody, GodBaer out.